The time is now. The next Kojima adventure is underway, and I can't wait to tell you guys my first impressions of Death Stranding 2 for the PlayStation 5. Now, I want to start off by saying this will be spoiler-free. I'm about 4 or 5 hours into the game. I just completed Chapter 1, so this will be a safe space for you. If you're interested in Death Stranding 2, I have not watched any previews, any reviews. I have basically been under a rock trying to not expose myself to any spoilers. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Man, we really have to appreciate these moments. They do not come around too often. Kojima does not release a game every year. I mean, you're talking, I don't know, 1 or 2 every decade. And we don't know how many are left, you know. So we have to appreciate these experiences while they're here, because he's one of the greatest game creators of all time. And Kojima Productions is absolutely incredible. And I adore the Death Stranding series. If you're new to this channel is basically built off Death Stranding. 1/4 of the subscribers on this channel are from one particular video I made on Death Stranding about 2 years ago. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's called How Death Stranding Helped My Anxiety. With all that being said, I really enjoy this game. I'm a huge Kojima fan though. Metal Gear Solid 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. I grew up playing Kojima games, and it's one of those experiences that just connects with me. You know, it's not for everyone. It's frustrating at times, even for myself. Even with this game, kind of jumping back into it, not playing for a while, I really had to get used to the controls again. I'm lucky that I kind of jumped back in Death Stranding 1 about a month ago just to capture some footage from the PS5 version that I upgraded to not too long ago. But the controls do take some getting used to. I don't want to say it's clunky, but the navigating through the different weapons and stuff like that takes a little time to get used to. I will say, if the first game was a little slow pace for you, obviously it took a while to get into it. If you haven't played the first game, it takes a minute. Like, you have to get through, I think, the first 2 chapters before it kind of really picks up. It's the same thing with this one, but they do introduce you to more action off the rip. I will say the combat and the gameplay is tighter, I feel. It's more responsive, more precise, I feel like. I was having a more enjoyable time with it, where in the first game I would try to avoid contact for the most part, or combat for the most part, unless I had to engage with it, because the clunky nature of navigating through the different weapons, switching on and off of them, running out of ammo, trying to pick up new stuff and then equip it and things of that nature. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're new and going to try out this game, it's something you're going to experience, but just give it time. You will get used to it, and it's not as bad as it may seem. And I do think some quality of life improvements have been made from the first game in terms of the combat so far. In terms of the story, it's still as wacky and weird as the first game. I mean, it is Kojima. It starts off very basic. You know, you're doing your deliveries. The game is introducing you to a lot of different aspects of the game in terms of building shelters, bridges, fabricating new equipment, accessing the terminals, using the map. All those basic features, the game does a very good job of breaking those down and introducing the player within the first chapter. Basically, the first chapter alone is basically just getting down those tools. You do have a boss encounter. I'm not going to show the boss encounter because I want to keep this spoiler free. I will show some like combat with some basic BTs. This video is not structured in any shape or form too. I'm just kind of rambling about my excitement with the game and telling you my experience with it off the cuff. You know, like I've said, I've experienced about 5 hours in. The music is absolutely spectacular, and the visuals are absolutely stunning in this game. They were amazing in the first game, but this has to be visually one of the best looking games I have ever played. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. I remember this one section where you're going up to this observation like lab or whatever, research lab, and it's at night and there's just stars and you're seeing shooting stars just fly across the screen and the sun's setting over the mountain. It is just beautiful. And I literally just stop, go as slow as possible. The music's playing. It is the most immersive experience, and that's why I love this game. And that's why you need to give it a chance and really give it a real honest go, because if you give it the time of day, it's one of those games where the more you put into it, the more you get out, just like most things in life. But I'm telling you, in terms of like relieving stress or anxiety or just pressures from the day, there's something so calm and relaxing about like going from point A to point B. And you could really say that about any game. People that talk about like it's a walking simulator, shit. You have not played this game because so much happens and each delivery is unique. You know, it starts off pretty basic, but as the game goes on, you're encountering BTs, weather, obstacles, you know, running out of resources, using your equipment to be creative and navigate to your destination. There's so much more that goes into this game. And so far, it has met expectations. I'm just now getting into the actual story because the story really doesn't pick up until the end of chapter 1, and I'm about to get into chapter 2 now. By the way, all the footage you will be seeing, I'm just going to show you a little bit of footage from the first chapter. But outside of that, man, if you're kind of on the cuff of playing this game and you really don't know if you want to play it, I would honestly say to pick up the first game and experience that first. Make sure you're going to enjoy this instead of going out spending the $70 on Death Stranding 2. A lot of times that's what I do. Like when the new Doom came out a few months ago, I was definitely interested in it, but I wasn't going to shell out the $100 or whatever ridiculous thing it was going for on release. I picked up Doom 2016 and had an amazing time with it. And from that experience, I learned how much I love that franchise and that gameplay loop and just the modern aspect of Doom. So now I know I want to go play the Dark Ages whenever it drops in price or whatever, and Eternal. I'll play Doom Eternal before that, and so on. So you can do the same thing with Death Stranding. I'd pick up the first one first if you're kind of on the fence. If you played the first one and you enjoyed it, it's a no-brainer. Pick this up. You're going to love it. I think if you like Kojima games in general, you're going to enjoy this. It's built from the same cloth, you know, it comes from the same foundation as Metal Gear Solid and all of those games. So if you're into that, which I definitely am, you'll love it. Sorry if none of this made sense and wasn't helpful. I'm just excited about it. We have to embrace these moments because they don't come around too often, and we don't know how many more we're going to get to experience. So enjoy it, embrace it, love it, live it. And until next time, stay blessed, my friends.